In this video, I'm going to show you how you can transform an ugly and boring bedroom into an epic content studio that you can use to record your own videos for YouTube or any other social media. We're going to talk about background, positioning, and lighting. And also at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how I put the entire setups on wheels so that you can use only one single stand, not having tripods all over, and then you can move it around to have different angles. This is the room that I started with. It was pretty ugly because it was my bedrooms when I was a child, and then I decided to transform it and kind of remodernize it a little bit by removing this orange closet and then by repainting the wall in the back. Instead of having it yellowish, I painted it light blue, kind of grayish. Then I wanted to create bookshelves to then have all around the framing and all around the bed. So I decided to create some by myself, and then I drilled them into the wall and placed some books on top of it. I wanted to create a sort of a frame around the bed. So I create two that are exactly the same that will go on the side and one that will go on the top. So as you can see, I drilled on the wall the bookshelves right here, one on one side, one on the other side, and then I have it also part of the top, and then I fill it up with books. As you can see right here, I'm just gonna fill it up on all sides, just like that. There you go. And then what I wanted to do on both sides is add a little kind of like a little plant that will go down on the bookshelves, and then maybe we can add some fairy lights afterwards. At the moment, I just got two. So these are two from IKEA, super cheap plants, but they look great, especially in videos. So let's try to have them up without have them falling like this. And then we have one in the bottom right here. And there you have it. I did already the same thing on the other side. We have just one small plant that is coming down from the ceiling, from the top of the bookshelves. And this is because I want to try to have symmetry. Now we need to find the positioning. Where are we going to sit? Where are we going to put the camera and also the light? Now, the concept is that obviously if I'm trying to design this background, I would like to stay in the middle so that I can find symmetry in between these two bookshelves. So I'm gonna have to sit in the bed, and then I'm gonna position the camera so that I can find symmetry in the background. So let's try to do that. So I'm gonna grab my Cam A, then I'm gonna try to position it on the tripod so that I can have some symmetry just in the background. And this looks pretty much it. Looks really good. I need to try to remove the white wall that I have on this side. So I don't want to have this part right here. And also I don't want to have this part right here of the wardrobe. So I want to try to find the perfect angle. Currently, I am using a 28-75 f2.8 by Tamron on my A7 IV camera. So this looks pretty good. I think maybe I need to reduce the height of the camera, just like that, to make sure that, again, I can find the symmetry. Now, there's one thing that I'm not a big fan of, is that I don't want anything usually behind my head. And in this case, I can see that I'm a little bit touching the bookshelf. There's not much we can do. I'm gonna try to stay a little bit lower and also decrease the height of the camera. Just make it a little bit shorter, just like that. And I think this looks pretty good. So next, now that we found the framing, we have the symmetry, we have the plants, we have the bookshelf, we have the background. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of seeing the bed, but there's not much we can do because the room is pretty small. I could try to remove the bed completely, but this will not make it very functional. Reason being is because if I want to record a quick YouTube video, quick content, then I don't want to move the bed all the time. So we need to try to play around with whatever we have right now. So I just want to make sure that I don't see the pillows. So I'm taking the pillows in the front, and then yeah, we'll see the mattress a little bit, we'll see the cover, but that's fine. There's not much we can do about that, but it's better than just seeing the full bed. So right now I'm looking at the screen of the camera and everything looks pretty fine. This camera looks a little bit dark, so let's make it a little bit brighter. There you go. And this is already a decent frame, but we have a problem. The lighting is not great. And this is the most important steps that usually beginners overlook. Lighting is gonna make a massive, massive difference in your content. And it's the best investment you can ever make. So this is the light that I usually use, is a Nightlight Forza 60B Mark II combined with a 60cm softbox, again, still by Nightlight. The beauty about this is because I travel so much and I move like a digital nomad, I need need to create a studio everywhere I go, and this is super portable. It's as big as my hand. And also the softbox is foldable. Now this is not folded right now because I already prepared it for the video, but it becomes quite small. So I'm just gonna attach the light with the softbox right here. And then I'm gonna try to place it on top of the camera on this light stand, individual light stand, so that I don't have to have another stand for the light. So right here I have a ball head for lighting stands. Then I'm gonna place it on top of it. Just like that, and then I'm gonna place the light on top. All right, so we place the camera, we place the light, but one thing I wanna make sure of is try to have the light as close as possible to my face, just out of frame. So I wanna try to have very, very close to the camera, but then again, not enter in the frame. And this looks just right. Now I wanna try to have the light not right in front of me, but 45 degrees. This is to create a little bit of contrast in my face so that the image looks a little bit more cinematic rather than flat. And this is another mistake that usually people make. They just have trade in front of them rather than having it 45 degrees in front of them on one side. So we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna position this one like this, and then we're gonna rotate just one part. There you go. And this looks perfect. Now, one thing you need to make sure of is try to block out the windows and also turn off the room lights that you have. Right now I have just one light that is turned on so that you can see what I'm doing, but now I'm gonna turn that one off so that we can see what we have right now in the camera. So first I'm gonna turn on our key light that I positioned right here. Then I'm gonna turn off this light that I have right here. And now we're gonna go sit in the bed and check already what we have right here. And this looks already pretty good. As you can see, this key light makes a massive, gigantic difference already in the framing. This could be already pretty interesting, but we can try to work on the background to make it even more interesting, to create some contrast and separation and depth. And right now, this is the widest I can use, 28mm, and I have 1/50, f2.8, and ISO 100. Then I have again this big light, which is probably around 30 or 40% intensity because it's very close. And now I want to try to work on the background. Now, one thing we can notice, because my light is not right in front of me, but is a little bit more on the side, I have this area that is brighter than this area. Here you can see that I have more shadows rather than this area. And this is perfect, is exactly what we want. Now, let's try to work on the background. So for the background, we have a few alternatives and we can play around in so many ways. The first thing that I want to do is try to create another symmetry with two tube lights on the same color. I'm going to try to use blue color on both sides of the bookshelves. This is because I want to try to match the blue that we have in the background, the color that we have in the background. So I have these tube lights. This is a Pavo Tube 30X Mark II by 9 light, but you can use any sort of tube light or any sort of RGB light that you can find on Amazon, whatever you want. I'm going to put also all the links of things that I'm using down in the description. So I'm going to place this one just on the side right here so that we're pointing on this side of the bookshelf. Then I'm gonna do the exact same thing with another tube light on the other side. There you go. Now I'm gonna check again on the framing, and this looks really, really good. But I think we can make it even better by creating more contrast. And to do so, I'm gonna try to place one light behind myself, pointing towards the wall, but with a contrasting color, which can be a warm yellow. And to do so, I'm using this one, which is a non-light MixPad 211C, which is a RGB light, but you can use any sort of RGB light that you want, or whatever you have already in your house is gonna work. So I'm gonna turn it on, and I've set it to 2700 Kelvin, which means is a warm white. And then I'm gonna place it just behind myself like that. Okay, this looks already pretty good. Now I have the light that I'm gonna turn off right now. Okay, cool, and this looks already pretty awesome. Now there are two more things that I wanna do. First, I wanna try to add some fairy lights on the plants, on both plants, and also I'm gonna try to have a rim light that is gonna try to illuminate more my darker side. So first things first, let's add some fairy lights. All right, we added fairy lights, and as you can see, they look pretty fantastic, especially on plants and especially when we have this bokeh effect where those areas are blurred, whereas I am actually in focus. And then one last thing that I want to try to do is adding one more pocket light on the darker side. So I'm going to turn this one on, and I'm going to try to have it also blue like the background to simulate that one of those tube lights would actually hit me on the back. So I'm going to try to place this one right here. There you go. This is another pocket light. This is a non-light Light 5C, but once again, you can use any sort of RGB lights that you want that you find on Amazon. It doesn't have to be non-light one, or it doesn't have to be expensive ones. You can find them for very cheap. I'm going to increase the intensity. Right now I'm at 72% intensity. I'm going to try to have it out of frame just like that, and that's it. We have this beautiful rim light that is blue and simulates actually having it coming from the background. And this is the final framing that we have, but I want to show you one more thing because I think is actually really cool. This is my one wheel YouTube setup. As you can see, the camera follows wherever I go because obviously it's attached to the tripod, and even the light is attached to the tripod, and therefore I can move it and just change angle, and the light is going to be amazing every single time. Now, there is one more thing that I want to show you here is that I have this attachment right here that is a very cheap from Amazon plastic kind of iPad holder so that I can have it just underneath here, and then I can use my iPad as a second monitor in case I want to. Then one more thing is I have another attachment on this clamp right here that allows me to attach here a podcast mic in case I want to increase the quality of my content. So right now I am simply using a lavalier mic, which is a wireless microphone. But if I want to have a podcast mic that is much higher quality than the lav mic, I can do exactly that. And once again, it's all on one wheel. And this is pretty epic because the sound of this video that I want to create is going to sound extremely good. If you want to learn more about creating your own studio in any room, check out the Home Studio Blueprint, where I taught over 500 small entrepreneurs how to create an epic content studio in their own house.
Now watch this video next because I show you in depth how to create a full YouTube studio setup on one single stand with wheels that is also wireless. See you here.